Okay, awesome. So it's the end of the year, and you know what that means. It's time to review all of the anime from 2023. But we're going to do it a little bit different this time. Since this year was chock full of violence and intense fights, we're actually going to review top anime fights from 2023. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Animel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Mel, the host of this channel. And as mentioned in the intro, today we are doing our ranking of the top fights from 2023. And today I have a returning guest.
Hello everyone, my name's Wilson. I was on a few episodes back, but excited to be here.
Yay!
Let's get going.
Thank you. And if you guys haven't seen that episode, that's the episode in which we talk about Gear 5th and all of the different Luffy gears. So check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Let's dive straight into it. So in the planning for this video, we did have a discussion about this because we were like, there's no way we can rank all the fights properly this year without narrowing it down to a few anime. So we sat down, had a discussion, right? We were like, all right, this is the anime that we're going to look at and we're going to talk about. And some of the anime that we've included in our, I guess, deduction, in our thought process was Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titans.
Right. Bleach, One Piece.
Of course.
There's no way we could leave Jujutsu Kaisen out.
Not the way it's been lately, no.
No.
Nope, no way.
Like, you guys would murder me if I left Jujutsu Kaisen out. This one, I low-key almost forgot, but then as I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Hell's Paradise.
You reminded me about it.
Right?
When you texted me about that, yep.
There might be some other, Demonslayer, if I haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demonslayer,
We'll get
okay.
into that.
We'll see what you have. So we've looked at an assortment of anime. Maybe I haven't mentioned some that we also considered, but these were the anime that we thought about when considering which fights we're going to make it into our top fights. And so you know, we're going to only rank our top 5 to keep it simple and to keep this short, or else we'll be here forever.
Yeah.
So I really want to dive into our top 5 right now, but I feel like before we dive into our top 5,
Okay.
I feel like I just need to tell you guys that throughout this entire process, I was stressing the out. Like, I was just like, how am I going to pick just 5?
Yeah.
And how am I going to pick 5 that's not all Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, that would be hard. Yeah.
So there were some things that I really needed to think about in the selection of this, because a lot of anime, like principally Bleach, like Bleach is a fave of mine. And I would have included like probably more Bleach fights in my top like fights if I didn't use like this criteria. So a lot of my criteria was key moments, difficulty of the battle for the subject characters, also fight choreography.
Okay, of course.
Successes and failures from the characters' perspectives, just like the ability to evolve or realize like what's working and not working, and impact on the story.
Okay.
So those were kind of like what I thought about when picking my top fights, just so you guys know, because I know that my top fights might look different from yours. So anyway, we're no longer gonna keep you hostage. We're gonna dive straight into our top 5. And I guess I'll start first.
Yep.
So my number 5 is, and y'all might hate me for this and think I'm crazy, but Tanjiro, Nezuko, Genya versus Upper 4 Moon. So I think that, first of all, people will be like, why Demon Slayer? Demon Slayer, amongst everything else that's been shown between Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan, One Piece, Hell's Paradise, and Bleach, why that?
Wow, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, it was, in terms of like character development, a lot more growth for Nezuko. We get a new character into the mix, which is Genya. I didn't include Mitsuri Kanroji, who is the love Hashira, because even though she does get involved in the fight, it's like in the last 3 episodes of the season.
Yeah, and she put in work too.
If there was more time with Mitsuru, I probably would put her on my list because she did work and I did not expect her to be like that strong.
Absolute beast.
No, absolute beast. Like, anyway, let me not get distracted. But like, there's a moment in which like Tanjiro is fighting, and we've always known like Tanjiro is really smart when it comes to battle. He's great at strategizing. He's great at figuring things out, like the weaknesses of demons.
Yeah, that's his strength.
There's a moment in which he's kind of on his last legs, even though not really, because it's halfway through the season. And Nezuko is there helping him. We don't know where the Genya is at this point, but Nezuko uses like her burning blood to light Tanjiro's blade on fire, and he does the Hinokami no Kagura dance and slices through each and every one of the different emotions' heads for like the Upper Moon 4, and I was just like, oh, this is just straight beautiful. Like, ignoring the fact that Ufotable, the animation studio, just does stellar work on Demon Slayer, just the fluidity of the choreography of the whole fight, and just how widespread it is. Widespread and still choreographed was amazing for me. That's why I have it on the list, but it's not ranked as high just in terms of it's kind of like a group fight, you know, so it's not like Tanjiro is soloing the upper four, but they are also coming off the recovery after the entertainment district still. He's waiting for his weapon to be repaired, so much so that he has to use like the other blade at some point in the story. So like all of those combined, I was like, damn. This is probably like one of the best Demon Slayer-esque things that I've seen. Ignoring Tengen versus the upper six moon, because that was just fireworks, literally. But this choreographed fight was just, that was it for me.
With Demon Slayer, I feel like the choreography is always on point since it first really, you know, aired or whatever. It's just always on point. That's what stood out to me. And I didn't think about her impact or what until you brought it up just now, like her impact in her story, her character development and how pivotal it was throughout the whole thing. So I see what you're saying, but Demon Slayer wasn't on my list.
Not in your top 5 at all?
Not at all.
Would you place it maybe in your top 10? It doesn't have to be anywhere.
Because we're talking about the year, and if we're talking about Demon Slayer, you know that you're definitely known for their fight. But I felt like this season in particular, the fights previously were more impactful than this season. I know the character development aspect was strong, but I just feel like something about the previous, you know, stuff that came out with Demon Slayer just had me more captivated the whole time through. But not a knock, each their own. People still love Demon Slayer. I love Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so then who do you have at number 5?
Didn't make the cut. So for me, Hodge, Attack on Titan.
Hange.
Yes.
So like, are you talking about the moment where she like sacrifices herself? Like everyone knew she was gonna lose that battle because there's no way.
Oh yeah. You're not winning that
against the rumbling
at all. But it was just, I've always liked her. You know, her spirit, her grit, her intellect, just her curiosity and everything.
Hange is so lovable. She's like a Levi. Like you cannot hate them.
Easily. But it's something about that whole moment and the way she went out. They gave her a proper exit for sure. I mean, especially with the rumbling, there's only so much you could do to make it, you know, seem like a worthy exit.
Right.
But they definitely did their thing.
Yeah, that was pretty emotional. I feel like I would have put it somewhere on my list. Maybe I actually wouldn't even put it. I wouldn't even put it in my top 10.
Why is that?
Maybe it's because of the way like Attack on Titan was constructed. I have a whole gripe about how they constructed like season 4. Because we got it in like 4 parts.
Batches, I didn't like that either.
No, it's bad. And I think that the moment that Hange had, like it was good. She had her solo moment, but I just feel like it came at the end of the episode. It was placed very oddly, and then the episode just ended. And then I was like, what the Hange just died and we have to wait for another part? This sucks.
I've seen your other videos. You don't like the deaths in anime though, do you?
Me?
Yeah, because I know with Jujutsu it had you tweaking a bit with all these deaths, and Hange is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is a pretty big deal, but my problem is I don't have a problem with deaths, okay? When it adds to the character story, I don't have a problem with deaths, okay? Obviously, with Nanami dying, it was a completely different story, but please don't get me on that tangent. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. So what do you have as your number 4?
All right, so for my number 4, I'm gonna have to read this because this is a mouthful. It is Yuzuriha, Sagiri, Senta, Nurugai, Shion versus Mudan. You know, the one with the fluffy, different color hair. Was it the different color hair? I can't remember. Nonetheless, it's the one that turned into the flower at the end.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That fight, one, they're learning in the moment and learning quickly. Like Sagiri, big ups to her. Almost completely forgot about the name to that. But they're learning Tao on the fly. They're collaborating in some wild manner, especially since they've only been on the island for like what, maybe a week or something of that nature.
I think it was a week.
Right?
They weren't there very long.
No. It's been a short amount of time.
Yeah.
The efficient collaboration, the development of character feats, the development of Sagiri herself, her character moments, like the way she thinks and her mentality and stuff like that is actively changing. Nurugai is becoming beneficial to the story. Started off as someone who couldn't defend themselves and now is actively helping out in the fight. And then Shion is a boss character in Hell's Paradise. Like the dude is blind, but is a swordsman. And he's been using Tao this whole time. He just didn't know that's what it was called. I think he had a different name for it.
Yeah, it was a different name.
His character just in general is just like very, very quality.
You're drawn towards that type of character, especially in, you know.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Like characters like that who just have physical disadvantages or something that's thought to be a disadvantage but has found a way to surpass the disadvantage, so much so that they're almost like overpowered compared to other characters within the story. Like it's really interesting how mangakas or story writers come up with the idea, right? So that's why I tend to like these characters. But nonetheless, I just loved it. It was well orchestrated and well planned. Like you're seeing them plan it out. We did get a death out of that, which I feel like added to the direness of the whole situation. Everyone was kind of on the verge of death. Shion and Sagiri were like bleeding out the mouth and everything and out of their body from cuts and things of that nature, like just the scale. And obviously it came towards the end of that first season. In that moment, anyone could have died because Senta was already dying. At some point I was like, are more of them going to die? Yeah. So like I ranked that at 4. I felt like it had great impact on the story because they're learning something.
So for you, it was a group effort entirely. It wasn't just one person over the other kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's interesting because for me, it was one singular person.
Wait, it's on your top 5?
Yeah.
Wait, where is it then?
4.
It's also number 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
but you're looking at it as a collective.
Okay, I'm listening.
And I appreciate that. I really do. But for me, it was Shion versus, what's the flower called? What are we looking at? Mudan.
Yeah.
It was that particular scene for me that really set it over the top.
The scene where he like is like
just embracing the challenges, just like, just go getting through it. If you guys remember, there was a segment in it that pouring his soul out because he had lost a student prior to. So the whole thing was just built on revenge. And I just like the grittiness, especially with everything that's been transpiring that
grittiness. I like that. Yeah, the word grittiness and the context I feel that actually.
Yeah, so that's why it stuck out. I get that it was a group effort. Everybody did their part, but just like leading up to that moment and everyone, like you said, putting it all out there. It was just 4.
Yeah,
for me.
The blade work that he does at the end, it's like some demon slayer type of stuff, right?
Yeah, especially with the flip and then he slices and then you see the heads.
Yeah, I think I remember watching that and being like,
I was bugging out. I was like,
I think that episode, like, there were other episodes that came prior, but I think like around that part, since it was towards the end, I was like, I think I really with hellsparadise.
Oh yeah. Oh, at that point it was solidified. It was like, all right, cool. But yeah, amazing.
We have made it halfway through our list. We are at number 3. Should we rock, paper, scissors to see who goes next?
Let's do it.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I'm going, I don't care. All right then. So number 3 for me is a Jujutsu Kaisen fight. Okay. Actually, I have 2 Jujutsu Kaisen fights on this list because you too?
Me too.
Jujutsu Kaisen has been so good this season.
They've treated us well.
They have. They haven't treated the MAPPA employees well, but they've treated us well. Can we do better for them? Please?
Help them out.
Yo,
a little respect.
They need to be paid. They need their vacations. They need their time off. But like, this is not the place for it, but you guys know what I mean. Like, MAPPA, get your shit together.
Doing them wrong.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Number 3.
Okay. Which one?
Todo Aoi. Itadori Yuji versus Mahito. Yes!
Gotcha.
Yes! All right, big spoiler though. If you have not seen the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, what I'm about to say may spoil things for you. But dude, I am so sad that Boogie Woogie is dead. R.I.P. Boogie Woogie.
R.I.P.
Dude,
R.I.P.
The fact that he can't clap his hands anymore.
Yeah, when it happened, when he took his hand off. Yeah, I feel like I'm spoiling it, so blooper.
No, that's fine. We already advised people, right? You're watching at your own risk now.
But when he sliced it and he still tried to clap.
Yes, I thought it was gonna work!
I did too.
I hate Jujutsu Kaisen so much. No, I love Jujutsu Kaisen, but I hate it so much. Back to the ranking though. When Todo showed up and Yuji was literally on his last legs, because honest to God, you killed Nanami, you killed Nobara. People will argue that she'll come back in the story. I don't think she's coming back. You guys are crazy and delusional.
It was false hope, right?
It's false hope. I think that Gege is a sadist. He's sadistic, and I think he likes to mess with the viewers and readers' emotions. Yeah. I think that he did that just to play with us. Don't think that she's coming back. And if she comes back, great. But you know what? I don't think she's coming back. Probability is really low because let's think about Gege as a person. Do you really think he's going to bring Nobara back? Right. Anyway, Yuji's on his last legs. I thought that was gonna be the end of it, man. Like, obviously, I didn't think Yuji was gonna die. I thought maybe like Sukuna would come out again, but not really, because he had that whole pact with Sukuna. The only reason, as far as I understand, that Sukuna like came out without Yuji allowing it is because he got fed too many fingers at once.
Yeah, it was too much.
Yes, it was too much. So
how many was it?
10.
10,
10. So he just leaked out. Yuji had no control, and then he was unconscious. Again, I'm getting distracted. I am so sorry. Jujutsu Kaisen has just been too wild. But with him showing up, he revives Yuji. First of all, Mahito performing that whole black flash, I was like, I didn't even know curses could do that. I thought you had to be specifically a Jujutsu sorcerer, but I guess if you have like cursed energy, you can do it, right?
Yeah, that's the impression I got from it.
Right, it didn't like click with me before, and then I saw Mahito do it, and I was like, damn. This is a thing. So that was one aspect of it. Then you got Yuji. Then you got Todo. Everybody's doing black flashes.
It was sick.
It was sick.
It was sick.
Like the coloring, the visuals, then they took that outside, and then things just got dark.
Yeah.
Again. And sadly, Yuji didn't get to finish off Mahito. I think that's the end of the fight though, because fake Geto shows up. But him like first willingly being able to do a black flash, because the whole idea of a black flash is that you need to be like in a certain type of zone to perform it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's why, like, when they explain it in season 1, they say it's like a really difficult feat for you to accomplish because you can't accomplish it on demand. Right.
Okay.
That's why, like, I felt like this fight was also so monumental, is because he not only willingly performed the black flash, they all performed black flashes. Todo, even though his arm got cut off that point, he found a way to use what was left maybe of his boogie woogie.
He didn't stop.
No, he clapped hands with Mahito and was like,
in an instant. That
oh my God.
was insane.
Yes, and I think the addition of Todo Aoi to the fight is that Todo like is so skilled. Like when we first got introduced to Boogie Woogie, I was like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is Boogie Woogie? Like it's kind of like it's kind of fun, it's catchy to say, and it's like interesting the way he uses it. And you know, obviously we saw him use it in season 1. But the way that he was using it against Mahito, like the choreography, the visual perspectives.
You would swear they would like practice on weekends, just linking up somewhere just to get it right.
Yes, the chemistry and the fluidity between Yuji and Itadori. Like we have obviously character impacts because we know this is obviously going to impact Todo in the long term and how he fights. Maybe if he continues to be a sorcerer. We also got Mahito, who took what Gojo did, which was basically that whole like really quick domain expansion, because Mahito saw that and was like, inspiration, let's do it too. And it was like, oh my God, the villains are learning on the fly too.
That's what makes the show so interesting though. It's not stagnant like just one track mind. These villains are sick. They will learn as well. And
they
especially the higher,
they evolve with protagonists.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. So that's why I give that fight, a number 3.
Okay, and that makes complete sense. You know why it makes complete sense? Because I did it too.
Really?
I did too, yeah.
High five.
High five. I think our 1 and 2, that's where we're gonna have more variability.
All right, fine,
to be honest. I think that's when we're gonna split.
So like, why did you put it at your number 3? I surmise that it's a lot also of what I said, but like.
Obviously everything you said was on point, but also what I'm big on the emotions of it. How it made me feel. And his state of mind at that moment. Everyone he knew is obviously,
not everyone.
Yeah, that's why I stopped for a second. I was like, but the lives he took prior to, because at that point he was a murderer and he was down bad. He was down.
Oh yes, the L's that Yuji was taking.
Yeah.
Wait, have you seen like that meme that's been floating around online where it's like 8:19 p.m. Yuji's face is like all smiley, then it's like 11. It's like 11 something p.m. and it's that face that he has after he realized Sukuna killed all those people.
It wasn't even 11 something because it happened so quick. It was like
no, it was 11. It was 11 p.m. It was a 3 hour span.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 3 hour span.
I must have missed that.
Yeah. It was 3 hours between like when they started and by the time Yuji like realized, oh crap, I just killed all these people. And then the L's just kept coming minutes later.
Yeah, that's what stuck out to me. And then at that point, that's when the tide started changing. And it wasn't immediately. It was over time, like, come on, brother, what are you doing? Get up. Like, it was just like the buildup. And then bouncing off what Mel said, the cohesion between them after he was so down and just how seamless
my brother.
Get up, brother.
Yeah. Yo.
Picture in the locket, the whole thing. It was just
the picture in the locket was on some other like that whole like fight is like it's just a piece of work. Is it sad that it's at number 3? I guess, but it was just a beautiful piece of work.
There's another Jujutsu on your
list. That one is just a masterpiece. But
no knock, there's more.
Anyway, all right then. Are we ready for number 2?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Let me peek. But yeah, I'll go first. Ooh, This one was tough for me, but Zoro versus King.
Okay, me too.
You too?
Yeah.
Dang.
All right, so I feel like we have too much in common. I think I'm sensing that only our number 5 is different. So full disclosure, we did not collude on this. We worked on this separately. We were like, we're not going to show each other's top 5s. When we come in, we sit down, we're just gonna talk about it, all right? Like, swear.
Oh, man, I really thought we were gonna have some diversity there. Like some...
Clearly, we think too much alike, sadly.
It's all good.
It's all right. You guys can enjoy as we gush over our fights then.
And maybe they'll feel differently and let us know.
Yeah, no, please, after you finish watching this video, let us know what your top fights from 2023 were. So, Zoro vs. King is also my number 2, but I'm gonna let you plug first why that is ranked number 2 for you.
So off the bat, I would say the animation alone, animation. The build up, understanding that what Zoro's been through and being able to wield the sword. Emma, right? Enma.
Yes.
Enma. Yeah, just the build up, and then you learn a little bit more about King as well during the whole fight sequence and his backstory and his relation with Kaido and that whole thing. It was just 5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars.
It has to be like 4.5 though, because clearly it's not number 1.
I mean, it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
So
this one has to be 6 stars, number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
See, Zoro versus King, for me, yes, it's like what you see Zoro going through in the moment. The fact that he has to defeat King and his own weapon is fighting against him, right?
Yeah.
He has to basically perform high enough in order for him to wield Enma. Like, Enma is like too weak.
Yeah, step up.
Right. And in that moment is like, yo, like a weapon that's on your side, that should be on your side, that should help you facilitate this battle, is actively fighting against you because it is telling you need to step up. Zoro is able to realize and actualize on Conqueror Haki, King's Haki, which is a big up feat for Zoro. And I've got to say that this was hard for me because I have like a personal, emotional attachment to Sanji as a character. And I feel like his backstory and how we got to the point with Queen and then him upgrading to Blue Flames, like Blue Flames being like the hottest heat on a fire. I was like, man, I really want to put Sanji in my top 5, but I don't think he deserves a spot.
I love Sanji, but I would disagree easily.
Yeah, I didn't put him. You didn't like it?
I didn't like it.
Why?
And I've been adamant about not liking that fight, and I love Sanji. That is my dude, but I really didn't like it. I thought they could have done him better, but Sanji had his moment in the previous arc.
You could have done better. I don't know. I felt like they tied it so beautifully.
He kicked him off the ledge.
But you're talking about the finishing move then.
I'm talking about the fight. You really
thought it was... Yes, I thought it was fantastic. It's not in my top 5, but like it's in my top 10.
I don't even think it would be on my top 10.
Wow.
And it might be just because of the importance of it and how it, it's part of the main fight. It's part of the whole fight, the story impact Sanji's feats. Like he crushed the exoskeleton suit, but now he's extra durable, so why does it matter? He's fire. Like the only thing that he doesn't have that Zoro has is Conqueror's Haki now. And obviously it is what it is. Zoro is number 2 and he will always be number 2. So you accept it.
Right. But like that fight was just so beautiful. Like we
have to speak about this a little bit more because I don't feel that way.
All right, we'll talk about it another time since we're talking about our top 5.
Can you guys jot something down and let us know?
Yeah, let us know what you think about the Sanji fight. If you would have ranked that anywhere in your top 5 to 10 fights of 2023.
Or like 1 through 5. I'm curious, 1 through 5.
1 through 5? Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you. But nonetheless, it pained me though when I was building this top 5 because I really wanted to put it in. I wouldn't have put it in like at number 2. I probably would have ranked it at the bottom. But I just, at some point, I was just like, I can't justify giving you a space on top 5.
Especially with the year we've had.
No, especially with the year that we've had, right? So That's why Zoro and King was there. That's why I have no other One Piece fight in my top 5. This fight, Luffy versus Kaido, because you know what? It was more about the moment for me than it was about the fight.
Yeah.
You know, as goofy and crazy it was and how much of epitome it was to be Luffy and like all this crazy stuff happening and how happy he was and how much he was laughing, I just didn't feel like it was top 5 material.
And I love my One Piece.
Me too,
I really
dude.
love my One Piece.
Again, let us know if that's something that you'd rank within your top 5. Kaido versus Luffy. Especially after he went to Gear 5, let's say that. But yeah, so King versus Zoro, it's up there. And the final finish for Zoro's like attack after he fully defeated King, that was crisp too.
Beautiful work. Shout out to the animators out there.
Yeah, the directors on this did work on One Piece for like the final acts of Wano arc. It was stellar. Like animation in general has been top notch this year. The quality of animation has been blowing me out of the water to the point that I'm just like, how do you guys eat, live, and breathe? Anyway, all right, but let's narrow it down to our number 1s. Drum roll?
Do you want to go or should I go? I can go.
All right, fine. Drum roll then.
My number 1 would be Itadori versus Chozo.
See, that's why I said that I think our number 1 was going to be the same at some point because...
It was the same?
Yeah, it's the same, man.
You go first because you know the...
Can I?
Meat, please.
All right. So Yuji versus Chozo, number 1, the choreography. The choreography for Yuji versus Chozo is insane. When Yuji jumps down, the dude just like lasers him with blood. Like he barely saw him. He said, "Is that Yuji's shoes?" I was like, oh my God. And that was the whole episode. Like they didn't hold back. They said, we're gonna dedicate a whole episode. And yes, they've parsed out fights like Mahito versus Yuji between multiple episodes. But there was almost no like actual dialogue.
None.
It was a lot of inner monologue, almost no dialogue between Chozo and Yuji, which helped expedite the fight, I think, so that they contained it to a whole episode. But it was just a fury of fists. It was a fury of fists and blood.
Do you remember this dialogue though? Your brothers were crying before they died. Do you remember him saying that? He was like, "How are my brothers?" Your brothers.
Oh yes. Yes, actually.
I forget what he said. Something about they were crying.
They cried before they died, right?
Yeah, that set them all.
I think I remember that like vaguely. I don't know if that was the exact verbiage, but I think I remember that vaguely.
And that set them all.
It was really interesting just to see like Chozo's like emotions behind it.
Yeah.
But like when they took it from the subway, first of all, I was engaged in the fight. The moment that the fight really became wild for me is when Yuji comes sliding in, right? They're still in the more open subway portion before they make it to the bathroom. And he like leans back as he lasers him with the blood. He like leans back and it like skates above his head.
It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed it.
The way that the blood is animated to move so quickly was crazy too. There's so much going on in this episode that it was impossible for it not to be number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Like of all the Jujutsu Kaisen fights, that I think had the biggest like emotional impact. It really impacted the story as a whole because Yuji got defeated. Then that gave those girls and Jogo the capacity to feed him fingers, which then Sukuna killing all those people.
Yep.
It was just madness after that point. So I like that point in the story. I think it put us on a different path in the story. Like if Yuji didn't get defeated and if he didn't get like.
And it set the tone too for like future episodes.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Yes, it set the tone because it started off a little bit brighter, you know, after he defeated the grasshopper. Maybe is out there helping.
Yeah.
Him and Megumi defeated that one guy. It set the tone from that point going forward because it was like, oh, L number 1. And then the L's just kept coming. L's just kept coming. It's the tone, the impact on the story. Yuji, from that moment until like I guess where we are now in the Shibuya arc, his mind shift like is very, very different. Like his mindset, crazy wild. Seeing that fight and then seeing him fight Mahito, like they're worlds apart to some extent. But in addition to that, I want to say like I talk about this in another video, but the musical composition that they use in the fight was they played me, and I have a big gripe still about that because they're playing this upbeat, momentous music that you think Yuji is about to win this fight when he comes in for the final blow, like, bruh, Bruh, that solid brick wall of blood abs. It was.
Amazing.
It was absolutely, and then the absolute silence when they come like hand to hand like this in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they're ready about to just blow.
You know what's funny? I didn't even remember this episode until you told me to populate my list and everything. I was going back.
Right.
And then I was like, how did I forget about this one? How is that possible? But yeah.
I should stop this video now and just boot you out.
I'm gone.
How could you forget such a wonderful fight?
I have no idea. But when I rewatched it, it took me back. I was like, yep, I know where this is going on my list.
Right.
Easily.
Yeah. So we both have it ranked at number 1 for absolute justified reasons.
Absolutely. I rewatched it once I was populating my list. I was like, might as well start from the beginning.
Yeah, but I want to watch it again and again and again and again and again.
There's no reason why you wouldn't. Like, why not?
Right. That's our top 5, everyone. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Sadly, it was very similar.
It was.
Again, we didn't plan this, but we would love to hear from you all as to who and what you would rank within your top 5 fights from this year, because there was a lot that happened. Like, I really wanted to put almost all the Jujutsu Kaisen fights in there.
Yeah.
Like Megumi's dad against Dagon the octopus. That one was good too.
Jujutsu Kaisen all around.
Yeah, it's been if I'll say this, if I don't have as much Jujutsu Kaisen on there as there should be on my top 5, I will just say that Jujutsu Kaisen is fight anime shonen of the year, okay? How about that? Easy, right? But if you have a different top 5, please let us know in the comment below. You could also hit me up on Instagram and engage with me there and let me know what your top 5 is. But Wilson, thank you so much for joining.
Oh, no
this
problem.
has been fun.
No problem. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get a chance to come back and, this is really fun.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining. We really appreciate you tuning in. Catch me next time on another video. I am Mel, the host of this channel, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.